Welcome back to our RBD Building Blocks series. I'm Cindy Cloward, and today we're working on block number 7 called Birds in the Air. It is a fun and easy block to make, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to need to do is download the pattern, Birds in the Air, from our Riley Blake Designs website. It tells you all the pieces that you're going to need to create this block. I've cut out all my pieces and labeled them, so let's get started. The first thing it tells you to do in the pattern is to take your A square and your C square. You're going to mark your A squares on the wrong side, corner to corner. Make sure I've got that on the wrong side. That's going to be your sew guide. And you're going to make 2 half square triangles with this light gray square. So right sides together. Take it to the machine and sew a 1/4 inch on each side of your marked line. Okay, let's clip our threads. And now that marked line is our cut line. Okay, let's take these to our pressing station. Give them a quick press before I open them up. I'm going to press to the dark side. Do a finger press. Now, be careful with the bias. On these diagonals, there's a bias. So you want to be very careful not to stretch these half square triangles. So I press on like that. Let it cool under my clapper. And these need to be 4.5 inches. So you're going to line up this center diagonal line with this diagonal seam. You can pull it down to one corner. Just line the bottom and the top. Cut off that little dog ear. And anything outside, your ruler, you just trim off. Okay. Those are all done. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this B square. We're going to cut on the diagonal. So corner to corner. Let's see. Okay, those are cut on the diagonal. Now let's talk about the layout. So we're going to pull our half square triangles here, and then our triangles. Now look at this layout. We only use 3 half square triangle units, so one's extra. So you can just put that aside. And then you're going to lay out your half square triangles, and I guess sort of a bird pattern, right? And then we're going to use our triangles to fill in the other portions. Now I got to make sure I put them on the right side, facing out, and you are going to have one extra of these triangles as well. So just put that aside. And this is the unit that we're going to work on, half of this block. So let's start by flipping this over like this. Grab a couple pins. We're going to sew down each side. Okay, I'm not going to clip my threads. Just going to leave them right there. I'm not going to press at this time. Just going to sew this there. And lay this out. I'm going to sew these two together. And let's see how they want to naturally go. We're actually going to have to flip one, so choose which one you want to flip. I'm going to finger press that, and this one I'm going to flip the opposite direction, so I'm going to finger press that. So see how those nest together? Press that there. And I want these two units going the same way. So I'm going to pin that down to that triangle behind me. And then I'm going to put a pin at the beginning too. Okay, let's lay that out like that. Then the last unit we need to put on is right here. I'll flip that over there. Okay, take a look. Now I'm going to give it a good press. Now add a little water. When I'm pressing, I'm going to be very careful with this cut on the bias. And I'm just going to give it a press before I open it up. I'm going to press to this side. Add just a little moisture. And just press. And try not to drag across. And this unit is finished. Now the next thing you're going to need to do is take this big D square, and it needs to be cut corner to corner. So I have a little mat, little area, but I can still make it work. Just going to shift that just like that. And we're only using one side of it. Put that to the side. And this can be a scrap piece. You're not going to need the other side of that. Unless you want to make a whole bunch of these blocks. So we are going to put that right up to that, right sides together. And this is going to stretch if you're not super careful, because both of these are on the bias. So look how much stretch you have. So you're going to pin. I pin the two sides together. And just line that up. Okay. Now I like to sew on the side where I have the points, so I make sure I do not sew and cut off my points. So I do kind of flip it this way to pin. Just let the machine pull the fabric on through and no pulling or tugging. All right, take it over to our pressing station. Let's open up our block. And what you want to see is that point sitting right on the edge there of your seam and not cut off. Pressing to the dark side and lifting my iron so I'm not dragging and stretching my fabric. Okay, we're almost finished. Let's square this up. Make sure it's the right size. So we'll lay that down. Again, you're using this diagonal right here on this long diagonal seam. Just line that up. And it's looking really good. I'm just gonna trim off these little dog ears here. Let's flip that over there. And the Birds in the Air quilt block is finished. Join us next time when we work on block number 8, and that block is called Crossroads.